Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank. So today we're going to talk about Far Sector. So Far Sector is a new Green Lantern book, which is something I'm always happy to see from DC because, you know, uh, I tried to look at Morrison's Green Lantern book and it just doesn't do it for me. I don't know. But anyway, this story here is part of DC's Young Animal, which is a imprint for, ages 17 and up, which is I didn't think that was a thing. Like, I didn't read DC's Young Animal before with their Doom Patrol and the Milk Wars thing. It just didn't appeal to me. Anyway, this one here is written by N.K. Jemisin and art by Jamal Campbell, or maybe the opposite. Not entirely sure. Anyway, this book by default looks great, but the premise here is we have a new Green Lantern on a far sector of space, an Earth Lantern going by how it's presented, which is, I think, a bit of a mistake. First of all, we've got too many Earth Lanterns as it is. Second of all of space. And you couldn't have picked anyone else. I mean, I get it. I remember some of the interviews for this. A lot of references to Black Lives Matter in that interview. Or at least in the talks leading up to this book. But so far, not in this one. But anyway, Lantern Mulane is on this place called on this planet, the city planet. So it's sort of like Coruscant in Star Wars. Like Coruscant's one big city planet, and this is this city called Enduring, and it's had its first murder ever, and Lantern Mulane. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Said Lantern is pretty much guiding this planet through how to get through their first murder, because there's like 20 billion people already on this planet, and there's one murder, and they don't have a forensic team, they don't have any of that, so she has to coordinate all of that herself, getting through her first. But this is her first actual murder, so she's just sort of not really fumbling through it, which I think this should have done. Like, this feels like this really should have been a Jessica Cruz story. I think she would have been a better protagonist for this, because all she does here, all our Lantern does here is just sort of, it's about really useful exposition about the different people here, the different culture, the Na, the At, and the Catapple. And these are like the three big species slash races slash people that don't really run the city, but are the representatives for the different factions of the city. And it's interesting. Like, the world itself is interesting, but I don't think our Lantern is. Her design's great, but the problem is, it feels like she's, I don't know, she feels a bit standoffish, or at the very least a bit uninterested. Like, we don't quite know why she's here. She has a lantern ring that doesn't need to be charged, but she also can't fly with it, and so there's. It also implies there are other problems with the ring. But again, this book looks so great, and this premise is interesting that I kind of want to keep going. Especially when she reveals like how the planet works. That these three different factions at one point, that things got out of hand, huge war, and so what they did was, over the course of time, they removed their emotion. Like, their faces will react, but there won't really be any emotion behind it. So that's sort of interesting. But the problem is, without this protagonist who's not that engaging, it sort of makes it a bit hard to really invest yourself in the story. Like, there are fun moments in other Green Lantern books when, Simon and Jessica and all of them talk about how fun it is to fly or create constructs, or just fight aliens, fight alien monsters. That's always sort of fun and what they can do with it. This first issue doesn't do that, and again, the premise is fun, the art is fun, and how this comic ends, I guess, is fun. It's a really interesting idea, because the idea behind this murder is that we've already got the culprit. We've found bits of the victim in the culprit's stomach, so it's pretty cut and dry. And then the presumed culprit is killed in custody. So that leads to another story, and we see her chasing down the presumed murderer of the suspect. So that's interesting. Also, this possible interaction that she'll have with the different factions, that's interesting too. But still, she's sort of the weak point here. I don't know, because I don't quite know why she's here. I don't quite know how she ended up at this far sector of space. I don't know why they couldn't find anyone from any other part of the universe. Why we needed an Earth Lantern. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, this first issue was alright. I'm expecting a bit more later. I'd like a character that doesn't feel as competent as they are without having done anything. So maybe the next issue will really amp up her how competent she really is and her ability to control a room, because otherwise she's a lot of internal dialogue about her just not liking people when she sort of volunteered to be here. Anyway, with that in mind, we'll bring this video to a close here. If you're new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Check out some other videos, and I will catch you all later. This is the Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching, and as always, may your fandom serve you well.